Welcome back to my whiskey. And this week, my whiskeys pick of the week. You know, I'm Eric the Whiskey Guy, and as always, as usual, I'm bringing you a treat. This week we got a special treat because we're doing a double header on the quarter horse. We got the quarter horse regular and we got the quarter horse reserve. Now I don't know too much about this brand. I believe at first I thought it was a ABC exclusive because that's the only place that I seen them at. So I did a little dive to see a little bit about the company. They were very vague, but they do distribute to about 15 states in the United States. So it's a very regional type bourbon. So I'm kind of excited. These were two of the first bottles that I got when I started making videos, and I just haven't got around to it. They just got lost in the inventory. So I'm kind of excited to see if there's a difference between the regular and the reserve. Usually the theory is the reserve is going to be a slight or even more smoother than the regular. You're going to pay, in theory, anywhere from $15 to $20 more. Now in this case it was only like a $7 difference. They both were on sale for the same price at $30. I believe this one was about $32 regular and this one was like $38 regular or something like that. So we're just gonna dive right into it. They've been around since 1885. They want you to know they had some setbacks since then. They had fires. They mentioned prohibition. So they still trying to hold on. It seems like their inventory is very limited. So let's check them out. Even the bottle doesn't really say too much. It's 92 proof. Aged a minimum of 2 years. Usually when a company says a minimum of 2 years, that means they are right at that 2-year mark. So it's a very young bourbon, and I get kind of nervous when it comes to bourbons that's only 2 years old, and you can tell by the coloring. It's very light. And I was gonna do a blind to see which one I like best without even noticing, but the reserve is a little bit darker. So even if I had them both in glasses, I'll be able to tell which one was what. So it wasn't no need to do it. But we'll see how this is as a 2-year-old bourbon. It got the bourbon smell to it. I like to call it gas. But we'll see what type of gas it is, because it seems like if you get gas somewhere like Costco or Sam's, you get a full tank, that'll run off 2 weeks. But if you go to your neighborhood corner store and fill up, that might get you home in the back work. So we'll see what type of gas this is. It got that straight Kentucky bourbon smell to it, but it kind of got an out of state taste. It just doesn't taste like it's on the bourbon trail. Seems like it's a couple of more exits afterwards, but it's not bad. I've had worse. If I was gonna put it in a category, I'd say it's in the same category as the Bowman brothers that I did. What else? The Barmans. This is like a Barman bourbon right here. But it's not too bad. It'll get the job done. If your goal is to get tipsy, it'll get you there and more. Now let's try the reserve. Now with the reserve, anytime I'm tasting a reserve, or if I got a reserve, I'm already expecting that it's gonna be better than the regular. One thing about reserve, Everybody, well, I'm not gonna say everybody. A lot of people back in the day, when they got a bottle reserve, they wanted everybody to know they had a bottle of reserve, and they make it seem like they the only person on this planet that can get a bottle of reserve. People will go out their way to let you know they drinking reserve, and it can be any brand, any bottle. It can be E&J. You be like, hey bro, let me get a swig of the E&J. They be like, what? You mean the reserve? You be like, oh, okay. Well, let me get a sip of the E&J reserve. They be like, oh, okay. I just wanted to I thought you thought it was a regular E&J. This the reserve. This is blah blah blah. And they make it seem like they make it seem like they had their, like they go in the back door of the liquor store to get there. Like they got a red carpet. It's like a little lounge, and you got to sign for it. That's how people used to talk when they got a bottle of reserve. And they love to say, you know nothing about this. You don't know nothing about this reserve. I absolutely know about it because they sell it right next to the regular one. So let's see. Now this one got a different smell to it. It still got that straight bourbon smell to it, but it's just slightly different. So that might be the key. Now on this bottle, it's 90 proof, so it's two proofs lower. An exquisite Kentucky bourbon finished with cherry cask staves, crafted in the 10th oldest distillery in Kentucky. They even put their liquor license number on there, DSP KY10. So they want everybody to know, and it's on this one as well. They want everybody to know they are licensed, bonded, and insured in the state of Kentucky. So if you don't like their bourbon, you cannot sue them for impersonating a bourbon because they got the paperwork to prove otherwise. See, this company think they slick. See, this is bourbon. This is bourbon. So they probably let this sit for the true 3 to 4 years, minimum 3 to 4 year mark, why they did this one from 2. So this should be their regular bourbon, and their reserve should be a step up from this one. But they slick. They done put out some pre-ready, some bourbon in a box type bourbon, and then this is their real bourbon. So you definitely got to lean toward this. This right here, this is what you make your mixed drinks with. Actually, quarter horse. That's I do know the phrase quarter horse is it's a mixed drink, kind of like how you got your old fashions and your whiskey martinis. I believe the quarter horse is like an extension of the whiskey sours. So maybe sometime this week I will make one. But they try to pull a doozy on me, and I should have known better because the ABC, they try to push this brand down your throat every time you go in there. No matter what you ask for, they always mention quarter horse. They want you to take samples. They got stickers by it that say, please ask for a sample. The people that work there are like, this is their favorite bourbon they go to, like they make commission off this brand. But this one, I give this one a 7, and I give this probably a 5.5. They both fall in the well category. Like it ain't top shelf, it's probably your wells. This would be a well at the bowling alley, and this one would be your well at like Red Lobster. You go to Olive Garden, and then they got 2-for-1s, and they say, well, you 2-for-1s, and they show you this bottle. You'd be like, okay, let me try it. Now if they show you this bottle at the bowling alley and say this Wells, you're gonna grab it as well. Now at the bowling alley, this better be $4. At Olive Garden, Red Lobster, even if they charge you 9 or 10, if you get 2 of them, you're like, okay, well that kind of makes sense. So they both got their purpose. This one, I'm not really impressed with. This one, I'm I'm just glad it tastes better than this one. But this should be here, and this one should still be maturing. It's kind of like when you're talking to a 2-year-old. If you talk to a 2-year-old, you're not gonna have the same dialect as if you're talking to a 4 or 5-year-old. And it's the same when it comes to these bourbons. But hey, man, this is my whiskey pick of the week. We're gonna do it all again next week.